Are you thinking about hiring a coach, but not really sure what to expect? Listen, I get it. Doing something new and different can totally be scary. But in this episode, I'm going to go over what you can generally expect in a coaching session, no matter if you're doing life coaching or executive coaching or coaching for your relationship, so you can take that next step and hire the right coach for you with tons of confidence. I'm Sasha, and this is Unleash Your Warrior, where I share tools and strategies to help you kick the ass of whatever's holding you back so you can live a healthier and happier life. In this episode, I'm going to go over very briefly what the general coaching session looks like. Now, it doesn't really matter what kind of coaching you get, whether you're an individual or it's relationship or maybe corporate coaching. General coaching sessions will kind of flow in this way that I'm going to talk about. And before we get into it, I want to remind you to subscribe and make sure you ring the bell so that you get notifications when I post new videos every Wednesday and Friday. All right, so not all coaching sessions look exactly the same. They're definitely going to vary person to person, client to client, and coach to coach. But for the most part, they've all got one thing in common, and that is that they are solution and action oriented. If you work with me, I'm not going to be your therapist. I'm not going to give you advice. I really believe that all of the answers for what we want in our lives already lie within us. It's one of those foundational principles I believe in and why I became a coach. So what I'm going to do, and what most well-trained coaches will do, is work with their client to help them uncover what that answer is for them without just having it be a therapy session or sitting there giving advice, telling the client what to do. There are really three parts, not six, three parts to what happens in a coaching session. Shocker, I'm calling these three parts beginning, middle, and end. I know, I should copyright it. It's brilliant. So what happens in the beginning? The beginning is all about helping you, the client, figure out what is that goal. You know, it could be as big as I want to quit my job and start my business. Or it could be something like I want to get healthier and I'm not sure where to start. Or I, for some reason, just can't lose those last 10 pounds. Depending on whatever your topic is and what kind of coach you're going to, that beginning section may vary a little bit. But again, it's going to be about really uncovering what is the goal at large, what is the goal very specific to the session, and why is that so important to you, the client. So if you don't know why it's important to you, it's going to be really hard for you to achieve that goal. The second part of the session, so the middle, I know, brilliant, is all about helping the client understand what's really holding them back from achieving that goal so that they can shift whatever perspective they need to shift and actually take action. So here's a real life example that happened with me, and my coach helped me work through it. So I really need to get my website done. It is something that I've just been kind of putting off and really uncertain about and not really sure where to start, but it's critical. I really need to have this website done. And I just didn't know what the heck is stopping me from just doing it, from just making a plan and figuring it out. And after working with my coach, I realized that I had a lot of fear about this website failing, which, by the way, I'm still working on. I had fear that I couldn't do it right or it wouldn't be perfect. And so in this session with my coach, I explored, what does that mean to me? And, this perfectionism that comes up for me, how is that holding me back from just getting this website done? Something really cool that my coach pointed out for me was, when I started this YouTube channel, I had no idea what I was doing. But as it turns out, I'm pretty brave and I'm pretty courageous for just going out there and doing it. And so that shift in perspective is what really then energized me and was like, oh, okay, holy shit, I totally can do this. And it just gave me that confidence that's like, you know what, I have never done this. I'm afraid of it failing, but obviously I'm courageous. Obviously I'm brave and I can totally do this. So it's just a small example of what might happen in kind of that middle section of a coaching session. You really get to kind of uncover what are those things holding you back and how can you shift your perspective so you can take action. All right, and in the third part, the finale, the end, it's all about action. So what are those specific steps that you, the client, are going to take towards reaching whatever that goal is. That's the really cool thing about coaching, is you kind of work those action steps, session by session. So you're not trying to, eat the entire elephant in one bite. Coaching really helps you to look at piece by piece, what is that huge goal and how do you accomplish it? Is that action going to be achievable? Is it going to be reasonable? Can you actually do it between the time you get off the phone and your next coaching session? Because guess what? Your coach, especially me, will ask you in the next session, hey, did you do your homework? Hey, did you challenge yourself? Tell me about what happened since the time we talked. Were you able to take those steps that you talked about taking? And then one of the most important parts about the end is really making sure that the client has some accountability. So how are you going to hold yourself accountable to actually getting this stuff done? And so you really get to kind of think about all the possibilities of what might stop you from taking those action steps, so you can mentally and even physically prepare yourself for them before they even get in your way. What other questions do you have about what happens in a coaching session? I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below or email me. My email is in the description box. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.